You're listening to Entrepreneur's Enigma, a podcast about the ups and downs of the entrepreneurial journey. Every week, your host Seth Goldstein interviews entrepreneurs from all walks of life about their entrepreneurial journeys. From store owners to Fortune 500 CEOs, we all have stories to tell. So sit back and join us for the next 20 or so minutes while we explore the entrepreneurial world.
Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of the Entrepreneur's Enigma podcast. I'm Seth, as you know by now. It's like 270 episodes. You should know who I am by now. Today I have a good buddy of mine, Demi, from Studio Sonder, sonderscript.com, Studio Sonder Creative.mn.co, which is her awesome jazz hands, if you're watching, jazz hands community that I'm part of. For creatives. She is a doctor of philosophy in script writing, mainly because she doesn't know when to stop, pretty much, her education. She said you could write scripts without a Ph.D. You know that,
Literally,
right?
you can. You don't have to do that way, guys, honestly.
But, yeah, now she's Dr. Demi, which is kind of cool. A nice little, what is that? Is that a alliteration? Dr. Demi?
Yeah, I'm pretty
DD.
sure I only got the PhD just because of that. Someone said that to me like years ago and
Alliteration.
was like, you have, once I got my master's, one of my friends was like, you have to go and get a PhD because then you'll be Dr. Demi and that sounds too good. And I was like, nah. And I was like, actually, you know,
The squirrel
sounds pretty
brain
good.
activates, and it's just like,
It's like,
why not?
don't have to, but I can. So, oh well.
It's fun. So Demi is the founder of Studio Sonder, a creative community, a professional copywriter, a creative strategist. She works also has a side hustle, I would say, which is over Instagram for business and in the WhatsApp for business area. You're an independent screenwriter, a travel journalist, a creative writing PhD who's absolutely insane for doing that, but that's fine, and a full-time creative alien. And she's also neurospicy, just like me, and I love that.
Explains a long list of things and tasks,
Exactly.
and I hate writing that list out because I'm like, it's in no way oh, look at all the things I do. It's like, why am I doing all of these things all at the same time? This is not healthy.
Because that's the way our brains are
I
wired, and that's the
know,
reason why
I
we're
know.
entrepreneurs. You know, even
I
with side
guess.
hustles with Meta, like, you're still an entrepreneur. I mean,
I
or
don't think I'm hearing that. That's not how I feel. Yeah, no.
or these are your side hustles. Getting a PhD is a side hustle.
Yeah, like everything's a side hustle. Everything's a side quest, I think, is
Side
the way I say
quest.
it.
I
I
like that.
don't
It's a
like
side
the
quest.
don't love the hustle terminology, but like, yeah, everything's a side quest, and I'm like, yeah, why not? I can do that too.
You're like, why not? Let me get a PhD in screenwriting.
As you do, you know, like I actually
Exactly.
I spoke about it on Threads the other day, and someone was like, "You can't really get a PhD in screenwriting, can you?" And like they thought I
You're
was
like, well, you're like,
absolutely
hold my beer. I
bullshitting,
did.
and I was like, "No, like genuinely, look." And they were like, "Oh my God, like that's so good! Like you can go do that." I was like, "Yeah, yeah,
You
you
can get a
can.
PhD in almost
You,
anything,
yeah,
honestly.
literally. Like, not saying everybody should or anybody should, but like you can. So why
Exactly.
not?"
And you're currently working on some stuff too, which I know is kind of under the radar, but like you mean you're using your PhD, which is kind of fun too.
Yeah,
So
I'm trying. I mean, I mean, the whole backstory of the PhD is very much I was not doing anything creative really in life in terms of like what the big dream once upon a
yeah,
time about 3 or 4 years ago. And I was like, right, well, I feel a bit stuck. The idea of being a screenwriter is a Hollywood pipe dream for most.
yeah.
And it's like, well, there's this big gap between me keeping writing or throwing it aside and never doing it again or reaching that potential. I was like, well, at least this will keep me doing the thing and hold me accountable for the writing. And
Oh,
here
it
in the
will hold you
UK,
accountable.
yeah, exactly. Like here in the UK, it's a lot easier to get student financing and funding.
Yeah,
So it's like, well, I'm just gonna do it because if it doesn't work out, then I'll probably never pay it back. But if it does, then even better because I'm doing the thing I want. And yeah,
it works
I'm
out
writing and
exactly.
now working with a collaborative partner on some independent stuff, and hopefully working on some awesome stuff with you lot in the community
Yeah,
eventually.
it should be
So
fun. Yeah, it's exciting.
possibilities are endless.
Yeah, so how did this journey all get started? Have you always been wanting to be a writer? Have you always wanted to be an entrepreneur? Or is it just because we're neurospicy and it's just the way our brains are
Yeah,
wired?
I think a little bit of both really. I always say I've always wanted to write since I could pick up a pen, and
Yeah.
I never really understood I did until I was around about like 14, 15. I always thought I'd always knew I was going to do something creative, be it like in the art. I used to draw a lot and
Hmm.
all that stuff. I used to make little books and write, and I used to do a lot of acting. Like I thought acting would be the thing, but I also really hated the acting space. I was like, oh
So
no, that just
you don't
sounds
want to
like
act, but you should act. Like that's.
yeah, maybe. I did the draw. Well, my undergraduate degree was in drama. So, but I started
Hmm.
writing when I was doing a drama class in high school, and we just had nothing planned. Like, and we had a show that was going on 2 weeks later. It was devising, so coming up with stuff on your own. So I just went away and I wrote this whole script and presented it, and everyone was like, "Yeah, great, let's do this." We did it. We got like a top grade for it, and I was like, "Oh,
Ooh.
maybe it's the writing. It's the telling of
Maybe there's
stories."
something there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in my drama degree, I sort of changed from second year and third year into like doing more directing modules and again writing modules and sort of just actually the
Hmm.
production side of things rather than just acting. And in my final year, I had a module with what would later be my PhD supervisor in creative writing. I was like, screw it, I'll do this as an
Screw it.
adult.
Screw it. That's what most
And I
entrepreneurs
was like,
say. They say, screw it.
yeah.
Let's just go do it.
And
Exactly.
I was like, why didn't I do this all along? But I didn't really know or think of like the creative writing route.
Yeah.
I always thought, oh, we got to go and study English, and I'd done English language and literature, like up until I finished college slash sort of sixth form, as it's called here in the UK, which was up to 18. I
Yeah.
really did not like English as a subject. I was not
Oh,
like
wow.
doing well with it, like my comprehension and all that stuff. And I just was like, oh, if I have to write another essay, up until doing PhD, I was horrific at writing essays, like horrific. So how I managed it, I don't
And how do you
know.
manage to get a PhD in literally writing? We're going to take a quick break, hear from our sponsors, and get right back to the show.
Yeah, I know.
But it's a
But I
different
love the
style of
creative
writing. It's
side.
fun. It's
Exactly.
creative.
Like
It's
there's
creative. It's
the
not writing about,
academic.
yeah.
Yeah, like technical stuff, I just get myself confused. Again, the undiscovered ADHD for a long point of it.
Oh God, effect. You know, I don't know. To this day, I'm a former journalist. To this day, I can't remember when you use the A, when you use the E. To this day, I'm like, let's use the E. It looks better.
It's like, I'll figure it out. You just
Yeah, figure so, if it's wrong, it's wrong. They know what I'm talking about.
and that was very much my journey into coffee. So I've done every job imaginable. And I think this comes into like more of the entrepreneurial thing. Sorry,
Yeah.
I left my phone on loud, clearly. Give me a moment. Apologies. Um, it comes onto that thing because I always had a really strong work ethic as well, even though
Mm-hmm.
I did jump from quite a few jobs, but I worked a lot in like retail, hospitality. I managed restaurants for a long time.
Oh wow.
I've done everything from pot washing, cleaning toilets, all the way up to managing like very large restaurants and
Wow.
working in the corporate space, doing a lot of like marketing and creative tasks within that, but being very much hands on the ground, just doing the work, understanding how business runs from like the bottom line all the way up to like, I suppose, the profit, the turnover, everything that goes into like staffing these things and team management. And it was chaotic. And it wasn't
Oh
until I went into like more traditional corporate settings that I was like, oh no, I can't cope. Like I'm not busy enough. I'm not being creative enough. I
yeah.
started
That kind of
freelancing on
busy.
the
That kind of
side.
busy. Yeah.
Yeah, I started freelancing on the side to start trying to make money as a writer, and I'd be doing a lot of like copy, writing, marketing tasks in those
Yeah.
corporate environments. And eventually, as I always describe it, I hit rock bottom about 4 years ago, and this was prior to my ADHD autism diagnosis. And I was like, you know what? I can't keep going through the cycle of just wanting
Mm-hmm.
to do so much, but then it never working. And so I just went, I'll figure it out. I'm going to go out into the world and be a copywriter. And I
Yeah.
say the rest is history because here I am. I just put that creative writing know how from, I was doing my master's. working full time. I just started doing my PhD. I was halfway through it at this point, and I just was like, look, I know enough, and
You can put it to
yeah,
work
clearly I
now. You can
do.
put it to work now.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's fun. And then obviously then getting the diagnosis, you're like, well, that explains a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I've
Open to
described
the
it
door.
as
Yeah.
starting to learn how to walk, talk, and think again, because
Yeah.
up until like turning 30, I guess, which was a couple of years back now, well, a year and a half ago, I just was at war with myself, and I like
Like,
everything
why
was
are
10
things
times,
not why
yeah.
are things not working? Why is this? Why do you have to go this way when I should just go straight? And you realize,
Exactly.
wait, our brains don't go straight.
It doesn't work that way. Like we were
We
set
just
up
don't
for
go straight
failure.
lines.
Yeah.
And what
Because I
folks,
felt
just
like
like,
a
why?
massive failure. I was like, why I should have done that. Like everyone thought, like, you're smart, you're this. And I was like, I felt stupid in every situation. I felt like I
Hmm.
couldn't cope. I felt like I wasn't cut out for it. So why I thought I'd be good at business is beyond me because I had no evidence of the contrary. But like I just
We
thought,
don't know
well,
better. Yeah.
it's this or the worst possible outcome. Like I am at rock bottom. The only way is up. I need to figure it out. And yes, the diagnosis journey was long and traumatic as well, but it made everything fit into place now. And I'm like, okay, I know who I
Feel
am. And I
solved.
know the
Yeah.
things I want to create. And fundamentally, beneath all of those like list of things, I want to create things.
Yeah.
That's who I am. I'm someone who
I
wants to
love that.
create stuff. So.
I love it. I love it. And being an entrepreneur, it's nice to have a side hustle at a bigger company because you can fund your side hustle, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, well, that started on a 4 week contract,
Isn't that
and
fun how sometimes it's like 4 weeks, like this is gonna be a month,
yeah, and
and
then
it's like,
literally
what
it
if
was
it's been
supposed to be
two
four
years?
weeks, and it's turned into a full. And I wanted to make this transition anyway because previously I was freelancing. It was just me, and then I thought the obvious thing was then to evolve into an agency when it
Yeah,
wasn't. What I just needed was a bit more support. I'd gotten too much work too fast, and
yeah, it
like
happens.
again the ADHD thing of juggling several things all at once, it very quickly led to burnout. But
Yeah,
going and working with Meta and being with just Meta is wonderful because I get that variety. I get to do such amazing things. It's healed so much internally for me of my
mm-hmm.
relationship with the working world, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm still one foot in, one foot out, so it's really wonderful. Like, I'm not an employee there, but I also get the benefit of working in a bigger cohesive team, and I'm learning every day. But it
Yeah,
also means that I can now focus on creating a business I want to create rather than agency.
mm-hmm.
Life is great, creative agency, marketing agency, whatever you want to call it, but it's not me. I don't want that kind of people
Mm-hmm.
business. I love copywriting, I love marketing, but if I got to create what I wanted to create most in the world, it's what we're
Yes,
creating with Studio Sonder, which is bringing creatives together. It's not necessarily all about the business side, but it is
yeah,
about how do we inspire people and motivate them and help them get where they want to go, or just to create, just to make more in a world that seems to be
exactly.
wanting people to create less. It's like,
It's awesome. It's awesome. So you've done the whole working for the person, working for the man, as the term goes, which is not exactly gender appropriate anymore. But you've worked for the person.
man, I can be the
Yeah.
man, as Taylor Swift
Yeah,
says. She can be, she's the man. I'm the
yeah,
man, you're the
exactly. So
man, everyone's the
you've
man.
worked for the man. You've done a lot of things, and now you're doing your entrepreneurial journey. What's the best thing about being an entrepreneur in your mind?
I've always put it down to freedom. And
Yeah.
I know a lot of people talk about this, and then they talk about the hustle, and then they talk about like, and I think everybody's valid from where they're at personally. And I think
Mm-hmm.
ultimately the freedom aspect to me is, again, I think being neurospicy, as we want to put it,
Yeah.
I don't like being told what to do, when to do it, and how long. Like part of the rock bottom moment for me was like, not only am I not happy in the direction my life's going in, but also I have to remain being told what to do, when I can take like vacation, when I can like spend time with my family, when how many hours I have to do, where I have to be at any given
Yeah, it's
moment
not
within a
fun.
week. And I
We don't do well with
hated that.
structure. Yeah, we don't do
I
well
was
with structure. Yeah.
like I need it, but I wanted I like it's my life. I'm an adult. I don't love that idea of somebody else controlling that because they basically hold that thing over your head of, well, you can't live without. me, and it felt like a little
Exactly.
bit toxic in my brain. I'm not saying that's how it is. I'm not saying
Yeah.
that's how it is. But like some people love that and it works. You know, I have that in one part of my life now, but entrepreneurship,
Yeah.
entrepreneurship, is that the
Yeah.
word? Like it, and I don't see myself necessarily as an entrepreneur. I like say I create. I make stuff that
You're a
wasn't, and then
creator. You're a
and
creator.
by
Yeah.
definition, that's entrepreneurship. You think
It is.
I'm not even a
It's
writer either,
innocuous
clearly.
term.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's the getting to I'm kind of going through it at the moment because we're in these early stages of setting up this brand, business, community,
Yeah.
whatever it is, and lots of changes quickly, like from design to what's the messaging to this, and I'm hounding myself, going, oh, you keep changing your mind, you keep doing this. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, that's the point. You have
You're
to
allowed to
try again,
iterate.
fail,
Yes.
find what works, and yeah, it's that journey of just, well, we get to decide, we get to make it, we get to put it out there, and you're not waiting for someone to give you permission, you're giving it to yourself. And I think that's my favorite part of it, on top of the free, like it's freedom in
Yeah.
so many different definitions.
So on the flip side, what keeps you up at night being an entrepreneur? Amongst the constant thoughts of
I
like, oh
mean,
my God, they don't stop.
money. Well, we like, is this all going to go kaput? Like, I mean, I've been at the, like I say, I've been at the bottom. So
Yeah.
like that fall from grace, it's like, well, I've been there before. Like without trying it, you're never going to get anywhere. But
Yeah.
I don't know what keeps me up at night. I guess it's more like creative side of it, which is,
Yeah.
am I running out of time? Should I be here already now? Like, am I
Mm-hmm.
behind? Like, why does it seem like it, I mean, comparison is the worst thing, and I think
Yes.
regardless of how much we all say, don't compare yourself to somebody else, you can't
Yeah.
help but do it because it's everywhere. But you do just have to take what helps and put aside what doesn't. And yeah, right now it's like I always feel like I'm running, rushing, trying to get
Yeah.
somewhere faster than I need to be. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you've just got to let things flow at the rate they need to flow at, while also still keeping, your eye on the ball and progressing things. I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't have it all figured out. If I did,
If you did,
I'd write a book and I'd publish
you'd write a
that
book. Yeah.
probably.
Exactly. Exactly. So here's the big question. Here's the big introspective question. What is the most important thing to carry with you all the time?
Ooh. Okay, now
Ooh.
my literal my literal brain's taking over. As in like a mantra or like physically. Like what do you
It
want
can
from
be. You
me?
can go as woo woo as you want to get on this one.
I mean, literally, the most important thing to carry with me is my laptop. It's like my like
That's your
comfort
baby.
blanket
Yeah.
of a thing. Like I
I
can't go
mean, a
anywhere without a
PhD in
laptop.
writing, so you need to have something to write on. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have two laptops at the moment, so it's like me traveling is a nightmare.
I
But
can believe it.
the most important thing to carry with you from like a more mindset point of view. I mean, I always say sort of take messy action daily has become my
Mm-hmm.
mantra, is because it taps into that
Embrace
thing
the
of keep.
mess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you're gonna make a mess. You're gonna break a lot of things before you find the thing you're supposed to or build what you're supposed
Mm-hmm.
to. You're not gonna be good before you're bad, I always say. And if
I
you
like
can't
that.
accept that, then you don't deserve to be
Yeah.
great at something. So you've got to be really, really
Ooh.
comfortable with being shit.
I
um,
love that, man. I love that. That's
and just
awesome.
don't be afraid to look a little bit goofy and a little bit silly. Like your first, I always go back to the statement of like Ernest Hemingway, I think it is the first draft of anything is shit. And
It
that can be
is.
used in any area of life. Your first
Oh God, yeah.
like iteration of your business, your first branding, your first marketing message, the first time you host a podcast, the first time you put out a
Oh,
YouTube
they're
video,
always
whatever
crap.
it is,
Yeah.
it's gonna be shit. So you might as well just start, because then you're one step closer to actually finding the thing that works. And even when you find the thing that works, it doesn't mean it's not going to change completely over
Oh, there's
the
always a
next
pivot
5,
in
10,
there.
15 years.
Absolutely. So, Demi, best place to where do you hang out most online? I guess it's the community mostly.
Yeah,
I know
most it,
you
yeah.
hide kicking and screaming. You know, you get dragged back into LinkedIn every once in a while, but like you're like, I need a
Yeah.
break.
Yeah, no, I will be going back onto LinkedIn, but I think the thing is,
You
it's
need to
not that.
decompress a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not so much that, and this is advice I give to anybody as a creative creator or working in social media
Mm-hmm.
a lot is go to the space where you feel the most creative and you have the
Mm-hmm.
most fun hanging out because you will create, if you need to market yourself and put yourself out there, you will create the most genuine stuff for you. Like people talk a
Mm-hmm.
lot about being authentic and sharing it way. It's like, no, find the thing that brings you the most joy. You'll create something that brings others joy and everyone will have joy. So yeah,
Love it.
I'm spending my most time is in the community and I always will do now. But outside of that, it's really hard because again, ADHD, but
Oh, squirrel, squirrel, squirrel,
I
squirrel.
know
Yeah.
Substack for writing. I know we've
Yes.
had this out, but Substack for writing at the moment. And then I've been spending a bit more time on TikTok just because it's the easiest left to have like those conversations. But
Yes.
expect to see me coming back on YouTube and Instagram and LinkedIn. And I always tell everyone, don't be in every space. You don't need to be, but that's advice for everybody else, not for me.
No, we're squirrels. We like to be
Just
we like to
don't.
be everywhere.
If you can and you have fun, do it.
As
But
long as that's the key. As long as you're having fun doing it. When
yeah,
you're not having fun, take a break.
exactly. So yeah, probably TikTok, probably my Substack, and they're linked down below. But you'll find me everywhere as well.
Yeah.
But most importantly, inside the community is where people should come
Amen
and
for
hang out
sure.
with us.
Amen. Exactly. So we'll have all those links in the show notes. Demi, this has been so much fun.
That's so much fun. Thank you so much for having me on the
Yeah.
podcast. Ah, I'm so
Yeah,
excited.
so
Thank
much
you.
fun. Exactly. Exactly.
What a
And we'll
great
see
thing.
everyone next week.
That was a great show. If you're enjoying Entrepreneur's Enigma, please consider giving us a review in the podcast directory of your choice. Every review helps us reach new listeners. If you like Entrepreneur's Enigma, consider the other shows on the Marketing Podcast Network at marketingpodcast.net.